Hi there. Let's go now with what in the world is five-dimensional living like? What are the attributes of 5D? The first thing that is a biggie, I've been thinking about this for a long time now, is non-duality. How on earth does that work? It seems like a lot of our microinformation is based on polarity. So I will be interested to see how everybody wraps their head around it. It's coming real clear to me that it's that way, but you've got to end up working with things in a blended but not balanced way. We used to worry about balancing the two polarities, and now they're both there together all the time. It's like you have to see this third thing that comes from the two always being there. And it's a change at the very core. It's the end of polarity. So this one's one that you may have to start looking around and trying to find what it looks like to you. Something that came up just in the last few days for me that made me think about this was uh, some things on Facebook and everything about HIV virus being used to cure cancer. And I started to say, I think this is what that blending of the so-called bad disease being a cure as well. This is the attitude I think you have to have about with a lack of polarity. Everything has both things in it. A knife is a weapon or it's used to make food to sustain life. There's all things so-called good and so-called bad exist in one item. So think about this, meditate on it, see if you can get ways popping up in your daily life that show this to you. And I think it'll help. Now let's look at some specifics of this. Let's say masculine feminine. We've talked a lot about masculine feminine energies. Obviously, in the world at large, I believe feminine has been underutilized recently. And so if you're looking to have both available all the time, it's not like a left hand or a right hand. It's like you use both hands to do it. What does it look like when you use masculine and feminine energy in a blended fashion? Uh, I'm still defining that for myself, but it's very interesting. Let's look at right brain, left brain. This is another very interesting area. You've got these traits to right brain, left brain, more quantifiable or less quantifiable, literal or metaphorical. I won't read the list, I'll let you look at it, but it's what we're going to be doing in the session, I think, is to try and use both at the same time. Be logical even as you listen for a voice of intuition and balance the two out. It's possible for them to both be operating at once. And the interesting thing to me is it creates sort of a third feeling, a third state than being all in one or all the other, to be accessing both at once. I think it's just really interesting. A good example is a coin example of, I'm going to draw something here. Imagine a stalk-eyed bug that is, wait, let me get my pen going here. Oops. Now I can draw for you. So you have a bug and he's got these big stalk eyes. Let's give him eyelashes. And we want him to look like a bug. Now he's going to look at a coin. So he, with his stalk eyes, can see both sides of the coin, the head and the tail, as if he's looking here and here, but he can see them simultaneous. This is what it's like to have non-duality. Things that used to be opposing and opposite now have a whole different shape where you can view it all together at the same time. So I suppose the bug kind of sees this view where he can see the head and the tail at one time without doing any maneuvering or shifting. So anyway, that's a one way of looking at it, I think. So now we're moving on to another attribute. It's the end of karma. Karma is not needed anymore. It's the mechanism, Michael tells me, that was used to keep progress in the game going for unawakened souls. And once you wake up and you're watching everything happen and you can see it and you can see both sides, it's kind of I guess karma's kind of a polarity thing. Um, you don't, it's just unneeded. You don't have to do karma anymore. It's kind of huge, and I'm sure this will cause a lot of thought about things, especially if you have karmic situations going on in your life. Um, Moving on to another attribute, the softening of time. It functions, but it's more elastic. And I'm still playing with this myself to see how it works. Remember, this fifth dimensional energy is just trickling in, and we're getting time to get used to it. So I'm watching this and noticing my own ability to maybe stretch or shrink up time. I think we've got more that's going to be apparent with that as it comes about. This, I think, is extremely strong, which is, let me get rid of the detail, faster and stronger energy. It's the new energy is just like we talked about. If you already did the your 5D energy, the viscosity, so to speak, of what energy feels like to me. This is the faster and stronger. It doesn't have to be bigger. It can actually be smaller quantity but have more intensity. And your manifestation results come much faster because of it, and they come with more of it, more of whatever your vibratory, message out, your rockets of desire, to quote Esther. It's going to come back faster, but it's going to come back with more. And so right now, conscious choosing is really, really, really important. So the final question is, where is 5D? It's a vibrational place. It exists inside a larger fifth dimension. For example, if you're watching TV, you're kind of watching a two-dimensional thing going on a flat screen. And you can get absorbed in that pretty extensively if you really like the show. But you can still have an awareness of yourself on your sofa in your living room. So this is how you can look at people operating in 3D from a 5D attitude. It's a vibrational place, not a physical place. And different individuals are entering it at different times. So not everyone you're interacting with is focused into a fifth dimensional way. So right now, as we do some shifting, you can go in and out of that. It helps me to suddenly realize, oh wait, as Mike says to me, that is so 3D. Time is so 3D, and it's a different viewpoint, a focus, and that's how you get there. So that takes care of some of this. As you can imagine, this is going to be something you need to think about and look for examples of, because it's happening around you and to you, but you just have to be able to figure it out and notice what it is. So if you have more about this that comes to you, that's part of the sharing that we can do, is what is the fifth dimensional sensation or the vibration feel like when you feel like you have gotten not to 3D, 5D, but gotten into understanding how it feels differently. And I would have to say, I would go back to another point they said, that Michael has said over and over to me. It's more home than 3D. So it's going to be more comfortable, and there's probably less distress, less worrying about all the bad things in the world or the evil or the awful things that are happening, a lot worrying less about because about anything that looks bad, because you know that it comes together with whatever is an opposite. They're all together. It's all one thing, and it's all good. So next up, we'll move on. Take a look at this. You'll get some more information on your own if you ask for the question. Later. Bye.